a lot going on in the world of senior living, in the world of real estate, and in our world of education. Have you all heard about what's happening everywhere, all over the US right now? Does anyone have, as we always get started, does anyone have any wins that they'd like to share? I'd love to hear from you, see how things are going. Linda, how's your rack card coming along?
It is at the printer right now.
Fabulous.
I'm
I love
I
that.
Yeah, and the minute you send it, you're like, okay, I would like this to be different. And I just have to remember, done is better than perfect. And I'm having them printed so that I can give them out next Tuesday at a senior resource fair that I'll be at.
Mhm.
And so I'm excited to have that ready to go for that. At the resource fair, at my table, I'm going to have a home organizer and a moving and storage company partner with me.
Awesome.
And so I'm excited about that. And then I've got one, two, three, four, five, five events lined up for community service talks plus one more, probably six in the next 2 months, which is almost, I keep thinking, okay, Felicia can do all of these, and how does she do it? And I want to redo my slides again because I feel like
Yes.
there's too many words on them. And so I've got the resource fair next week, then that Friday I've got to talk, and then that following Monday I've got to talk. I feel jam-packed.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. And you have really stepped outside your comfort zone and you're embracing it. This is what it's all about, right? Embracing things. Now, the great thing about your slides, I just attended my brokerage's meeting for us being on at conference. And
Hmm.
so it was funny because I kind of known this because I've been doing slides and marketing for like over 20 years. But they were like the 7 by 7 rule. No more than 7 sentences, 7 words per sentence. So I was like,
On
oh,
one slide.
yeah, oh yeah. And seven
I
sentences on a slide to me is a lot.
oh,
Um,
I've heard like one sentence, one idea. I'm
yeah,
actually thinking about
but
skinnying
but
it
it
down
also,
to
yeah, and it also depends on what that slide is about. If you're doing a
yeah,
graphic with,
yeah.
some points to that graphic that you need to explain on the side, that makes more sense.
Okay.
If it's
Okay.
if it's an idea or a thought, it should be very top line and minimal, um, because you don't want the audience to be distracted about what's on the slide and not what you're saying.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and it was funny because they did say keep your storytelling to a minimum. And every 5 to 10 minutes, check in with the audience and get a pulse and get their buy in. And it's just a couple little tips that I just wanted to share because I think that's really important. Um, and so I think that's important for all of us as we're building out our slides. But I'm really proud of you. Congratulations.
So,
Very
Felicia, when
exciting.
you do your talks, how do you engage, check in with the audience? What does that look like?
It really depends on what type of talk I'm giving. I normally start out with how many people own a home in the audience. How many of you have owned a home recently, today? How many people? And then I also engage like how many of you, your homes have increased by 100, 200% since you purchased them?
Okay.
And I start getting them. And then how many of you wanted to pay any of that overage for your capital gains to taxes? And I get their buy-in. Like we don't, and it depends. Like it depends on what I'm talking about. But when it comes time to downsize and to declutter, like how many of you have that junk drawer in the kitchen, right? And it's all specific. So I engage them and always bring it back to them. I don't make it about me talking at them. But I'm also a person who practices and I watch myself on Zoom as I practice. Um, and then when I get up there, I wing it. So some is muscle memory, but a
Mm.
lot is off the cuff for me because I've been speaking for many, many years. And the more I try and stay on every single point, I'm going to miss it. But that's just me, it's my personality. I do much better when it's more genuine and more authentic for me. And then the other thing too is I don't look at people in the face. I try and look at the tops of their heads so that it doesn't look like I'm looking at one person. Or if someone's looking at me and they intimidate me, you don't want to have that happen either. So just a couple of little points.
Yeah,
But I'm
thanks. That's really
excited for
helpful.
you. And for all of us who are going out there and doing presentations, I have to, get the dust off and go and do it. Because, I haven't, well, I shouldn't say that. Every month I present, but I just, you just have to get into the rip the band-aid off and go and do it. Well, I'm grateful for all of you being here today. I want to talk about some big changes that's going on in our industry, in senior living industry. So how many of y'all heard of what's happening with Compass? Y'all heard the
Yes, we
news, right? Yeah, it's pretty big. It's everywhere. So we're going to see where those chips fall. How many
Yeah,
of you have heard
can you
that?
say can you say more about that, Felicia? You're talking
Well,
about their senior living niche. What is that looking
mm-mm,
like?
not with Compass bought out Coldwell Banker, Century 21, the Realty Group, all
Mm,
that's in Better Homes and Gardens. They bought that out. They acquired it. It was announced this week. So we're going to see how that shakes out, right? We got to see what happens because that's big doings. Compass has been in I guess I don't want to speak out of turn, but I want to say lawsuit or looking into because they had a private MLS sharing on Zillow with just Compass, right? So the industry said that's not right. We have an MLS. Like in the state of Florida, it's really not legal for us to have pocket listings. We're not allowed to. And when you go over to Europe, they don't have an MLS. So it's really cumbersome for my dad's looking for an apartment there, right? And we have to go to each one's brokerage to look at what is for sale. There's no realtor.com. There's no like overlay of an MLS where everything is housed. So it's really troublesome to try and figure out what's for sale. It's kind of like the old school way of the sign in the yard was an indicator that it was for sale because everything was paper inside the office and you had to go to the big book and like look through it before the MLS, was online. So those are things that are happening. Also, Zillow is in another lawsuit from the same people who started the NAR lawsuit. And I think it started up in the northwest section of the country, up in your area, if I can remember correctly, because I don't have it in front of me. Um, and what that is about when you go to call someone through Zillow, the person thought that they were calling the listing agent, but they're calling a paid person who pays for leads on Zillow. And the buyer is putting in an ethics violation for that in a sense, right? From what I read, and I could be a little off because I'm paraphrasing, of course. So they put that that's wrong. So that is going to be interesting on how that works. Now, I know if you use homes.com has people where, you could pay for leads on homes.com like you can with Zillow Flex leads. But when you go to someone's listing, like my listings, my name comes up as a listing agent. And that's something that is a differentiator on homes.com than realtor. I mean, sorry, than Zillow. Now with senior living, whew, we got big shakeups happening. So this is all, get your pens and papers out. This is all action items for y'all. So I am going to let you know what's going on in the world of senior living. Okay, major acquisitions have happened. This is all going to have a point as to why I'm bringing this up for you. Major acquisitions. Amira's Choice, which is in Minnesota, and there's some in Florida and sprinkled out through the US. By me, American House, which is a Michigan-based company, bought out 13 communities. Okay. LCS, Life Space, merged with V, which is 10 luxury CCRCs. They are one of my top premier CCRCs here in my area. And they're very high-end luxury CCRCs, million, $2 million, $3 million buy-ins. Okay. It's a big deal. So LCS bought them out. Discovery Senior Living, which is in my neck of the woods in Bonita Springs here, they just bought out a lot of communities as well. And they have been buying out communities for a while, but they just bought out some of the Brookdales here in my market. And they've brought out a lot of communities across the nation. 5-star Senior Living. This has all happened in the past month and a half, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big deal. 5-star living senior communities, which was in the top 5 of the nation at one time. They seem to be winding down their operations. I was told, and I looked for more info, that they had about 13 to 15 senior living communities in Florida. They were just bought out. Someone came in from a company that we've never heard of before, and they divested their portfolio and sold them to another community. I don't know. They haven't announced online who that new community is. I just know I heard of it, but I haven't. I think it's Synergy, but I'm not 100% sure. Just as a difference. Benchmark Senior Living, which is mainly in the Northeast. They bought out a few communities in Connecticut. Sonata Communities acquired 2 communities, one in Atlanta, one in Tampa. Brookdale acquired 41 new communities as they sold off some. So why are they selling them off? Because they're selling off the ones that probably have some issues, right, with census. And so they start to diversify their portfolio. Brookdale is one of the largest senior living communities nationwide, but that landscape is starting to shift and expand. Why am I telling you all of this? Tell me. Anyone, why am I telling you this?
Because the directors and the marketing team and our contacts are most likely going to get ready to be changing.
Possibly, but it's very stressful to go through an acquisition. I went through one. I went through a couple. Actually, yeah. It's very stressful. The entire team doesn't know if they're going to stay. They don't know if they're going to leave. They don't know if they're going to get pushed out. Everybody's on edge. Okay. That's a normal thing with any acquisition. Doesn't matter if you're with a hospital system, a doctor's office. It's just that unknown certainty, right? So what can you do as someone locally? You could Google it. You could put it into AI. Or have there been any senior living acquisitions or transitions in the past 3 months from today? And see what pops up. This is the time to nurture the team, build that relationship, let them know, hey, I heard this is happening. How can I support you? Bring them a comfort pack. comfort pack for me is I would go to like a local chocolate company, a local bakery, and bring them a basket of muffins, bring them some individually wrapped chocolates to the community. Let them know you're thinking of them. It's inexpensive, and these are things that you can do, and it has a big impact. I don't know about you all, but where I'm at, people move around like crazy. And so one day someone's at home care, the next day they're at senior living, then they're at this community, and then they're at that community. There is one community in my area that in the past 2 years, there have been seven senior living marketing directors. I don't know who's there anymore. And it's really challenging to build a relationship with that community because it keeps changing. And so the reason why I know that changes more than others is because with the networking group that I have, Naples Interagency, we have a monthly meeting where these people are coming to. And it's funny because I noticed they stopped using names as emails and they use DCR. Does everyone know what a director of community relations is? The outreach person? Or sales director at XYZ community. They don't even use their names for their email addresses anymore because they're changing so quickly, right? And someone will say, oh, I want to join, I got this email. Can I come to the membership meeting? And now it's time for us to plan for our big fundraiser that's in the spring, and we're asking for sponsorships. And I'm like, we got to figure out a way to manage this, because once someone says yes and there's a no person, are they still going to know that they have sponsored our event, right? That's just a separate thing to talk about. But right now, with as much change that's happening within the industry, now is the time to step up your game and do your referral Popeyes. Make sure you're visiting people. Make sure that when you do figure out when you're going to do your referral Popeyes, what day are you going to do it on? Don't do it on a Monday or a Friday, because they run around like chickens with their heads cut off, figuring out what happened with the weekend and getting admissions in before the end of the week. I like to do it on Wednesdays. Wednesday is my day where I do my coffee days, my lunches, my outreach. I've been doing this for 15 years. My Wednesday is my day in the community. We don't have an LFG call on Wednesdays because it's your time to go out and implement. Are you utilizing your calendar to the best of your ability to reach the amount of people that you need to reach? When you're going to visit them, how are you visiting with them? Are you just going to do a quick little pop by? And then also think of how you supported that community. Have you done a review for them on Google or their website? How are you supporting the people who you need their support? And this is the most ideal time because of all this shift in the industry right now, and there's going to be more to come. So make sure you have an alert set up on Google, and mine is senior living communities and my area. And I want it, you could set up your alert for daily, what day of the week. I'm like ASAP, baby. As soon as that press release gets hit, I want to know. I also have a Google job alert for senior living, not because I'm looking for a job. Let's be clear, because I don't want to work in senior living again. It's because I need to know whose position is opening. And then I keep top of mind, and I know who I can ask of my other partners to say, hey, I see such and such communities hiring for an ED. What happened to, Patrick? Just saying, what happened to this person? What's going on? And it's important for you to know that, especially if you're going into a building and there's a brand new executive director there. And you don't go in saying, hey, I'm here for Patrick. And they're like, he's no longer here. Last week was his last day. So if you want to work with these senior living communities, I'm giving you some really good tips. Figure out what communities in your marketplace just had an acquisition or a transition. And an acquisition could be an ownership change or a management change. Do you all know the difference? Okay, I see a couple of heads shaking back and forth. Ownership is who owns the actual brick and mortar. The ownership does not mean that that owner is going to manage it. There's a lot of what's called REITs that are out there. We don't need to get into that, but they're investors and investor companies that come in to buy these. And there's Alarius Life, Ventas, they partnered with Discovery, Senior Living. There's a Well Tower. There's a lot of these companies that are like behind the scenes money, right? So to say. And then you have an operator. The operator is the corporate office that is managing the entire team, all of the policies and procedures, all of the staff. And take, for instance, LCS is a management company that manages a couple of communities in my marketplace, like the Glenview, the Arlington. And so they're under different names, but they're managed by LCS community. And it's important for you to kind of have this understanding because it can be a little confusing, but at the same point in time, there's a lot of shift happening. Shift happens, right? And so you can support your local market, your local folks by coming up with some care packages to drop off for them and, seeing how you could be supportive to them. Because it's not the time to go in to say, hey, let's create an event together, because they're running around like chickens trying to make sure that they're buttoned up before a big, corporate meeting is going to happen or coming down. And I will tell you, the families start getting nervous as well when they start seeing such and such place is going to be buying out the community. And so they want to make sure there's no resident changes as well. The resident focus changes that are going to be happening for their care. So it's a very nerve-wracking thing to go through. So does anyone have any thoughts or questions?
I put something in the chat just asking, is it like a .gov site or are you just Googling it, or where are you getting that info from?
The info that I get is through my referral partners.
Okay.
I get phone calls. Hey, did you hear? Hey, did you hear what this happened? But I also have a Google alert so that when it does go through, there's going to be a press release on it.
Okay.
It's a major acquisition. There's a press release always. So I get the press releases that come out, and sometimes I used to work for Brandywine Senior Living, and we used to call it the Brandy Vine as the news went through the hallways. The hallways talk faster than the acquisitions get posted. So once you're really connected in the community, you'll know what's happening. You'll have a pulse. I have a pulse on what's happening from going to my networking groups that happen. And I have a pulse of there may be more changes happening down the road for a couple of our communities that happen. But the Google Alerts is great. You can go into AI right now and ask. I'm using AI as a tool to get my information faster, and it drills down a lot better than Googling it. If you use Google Chrome, Gemini is attached to it. So if you ask it a question, Gemini will give you a synopsis. So that's your kind of AI, and it'll tell you exactly what's happening. And that is what I do to drill down on a little bit more of just not hearsay, because I don't want to go into a community and say, hey, I heard you're getting bought out. And they're like, no, we're not. So I need proof. Because then you want to be able to go through. The big proof in the pudding is when you drive by the community and the sign is covered with a big poster and it's stretched over with now under XYZ management. And you're like, oh yeah, it's happening. So, that's another big sign for you too. But this is big happenings happening. This is a lot. Like V getting bought out that's a lot. And if you've been in the industry like I have, V is like a primo company to work for. And it has very, very high integrity. And even residents that live there, like they're great communities in special niche markets. Um, and I don't remember where all 10 of them are. I just remember
What
one of them was in La Jolla and one's down here, one's up in Chicago.
what's the
And
name of
V
that
is spelled
company?
VI, and they merged with LCS. Like that's the biggest one for me because it's such a posh community and exclusive with a wait list to get in. And then Discovery, I know they had about 200 communities, and now they're just took on another 15 communities as well. They're becoming a powerhouse, which is great. They have a great product. They have a great memory care product. So you need to understand, what's happening in your market and how can you support the people who you look to for referrals, because it's not always on. You got to have that balanced relationship, right? And right now they need the support if they're going under a management change. Take them out for happy hour type of a deal. It's just, let's go out for happy hour. Let's chill type of deal if you like doing that or if you don't. But there's a lot of companies. So I urge you to go today. That's your challenge. Go today and Google in your market. You could do within a 50-mile radius of me. You could be very specific. What companies have been bought out, acquired, transitioned for senior living, and go support your people. There's a lot of shakeups happening. I hope you all found this helpful. Who's going to go and take a look at some stuff today? I see some head shaking. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. This is important because, just like if you were part of a brokerage that just got acquired right now, those folks are probably feeling a little bit like, oh, is anything going to happen? Is anything going to change? To change. As much as we say we embrace it, we don't like it. I don't know anyone who's like, yay, there's change. We don't. We're creatures of habit. We like stability. We like structure. All right. Well, does anyone have any other questions for me before you go? This is a big industry shift. And
Felicia, can I share something that happened to me, happened
sure.
with me, or is happening with me? And I just think it's so invaluable because we need to think, dig a little deeper on things. I have an attorney that I work with a lot, an elder law attorney, and in the course of the last year with working with him, I got to know all of his staff, the two ladies that take care of the Medicaid applications, and his primary paralegal, and all of these people. And I am getting flooded, thankfully, with referrals from them, not just from him. I mean, he's well aware that they're passing these referrals to me, but and he's a very open, forward thinking guy. But it's not just knowing the main person, it's knowing the people that are working with him, under him, and building relationships with them as well. So that's why I
Absolutely.
was late today, because I was
Congratulations.
getting another referral. So yay.
I know. Congratulations. That's wonderful. And you have to be supportive for them too. And that is fabulous. That's exactly what we want. This is why, the proof is in the pudding. You see how this has transformed a few of you on here, your businesses right now. You have to go out and just do the dang thing. Just do it, right? Just go and do it because it really does work. And now look at Margie's getting a ton of referrals. I know others on here, you all are getting referrals right now and you're really pushing for that. And I love that. I love that. Congratulations, Margie.
Thank you. I mean, I was at a referral yesterday, taking a good house from somebody, their one paralegal that passed me. Today, I just got another call from the girl who does the Medicaid applications. That is really important because those are the people that they may still be in assisted living or independent living, but they're getting ready to transition. And some of them may have a home somewhere they need to sell. It's just amazing. It's been amazing. I'm very thankful. So thank you.
That's awesome. I'm so happy. Congratulations. That's fabulous. All right. Well, now are you all going to go out and see who got acquired in your market? All right. Let's go support our senior living communities so that we can show them that we care about them in the sense of we're here to help you because there's a lot of shift going on. A lot of shift in the industry. And it happens this time of year too. They always want to do it before year end. As you all know, you could always reach out to me for any questions that you might have. I'm happy to help you. I'm the senior living guru, and I'm here to help you with all of that because there's a lot of intricate parts for that. And if you have any questions, feel free to call. I'll put my phone number in the chat. Texting me works best. Email, okay. Don't Facebook message me. I just don't read those all the time. I schedule out my Facebook. It might look like I'm on 5, 6 times a day, but I'm not. I pre-schedule everything. And so I typically check my messages for all my social media at night, so I miss things sometimes. But it's because I time block everything to make sure I get everything done during the day. And I'm here for you if you all have any questions, but have a fabulous Thursday. It is the last Thursday of the month, right? It is. It's the last Thursday of the month. October's almost here. And we got a few more days left for the last quarter, so let's make sure we close out September with a bang, and then the final quarter is here. We are going to be doing a business planning clinic coming up in November, just as a little tickler. Got to have your year planned. You got to know how many calls you have to make, how many people you have to connect with, how many referral partners you need, how this is all going to come together for you, which is very important. So that will be in the first 2 weeks of November, and that's for our students who are part of our mastermind. So once again, the mastermind, the student access for that, it's $99 a month. And we do masterminds every week. We also do script and role play, business spotlights, mindset Monday. There was a lot of stuff on there. And now part of our $99 a month is daily, what do I post? Daily reel, post, carousel, graphic ideas for you, along with what do I do and who do I pop by on which week of the month, and what should I be bringing that's meaningful for them. That is going to be meaningful with what is happening for that month in the healthcare observances calendar. So that is now part of it. We are beta testing that with our members right now, and then we will be launching that as a separate product for our non-members right now to get some more inspiration for your social and for your referral pop-bys. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help. But I hope you all have a fantastic Thursday. I know I am, because I'm reviewing an offer right now. All right, so everybody have a great day. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.